The chains drag. The chains scrape, drag, echoing across the scorched ground. The fire rises, hotter, fiercer, 70 times greater than any flame known to this world. No relief, no escape, no end. Boiling water rains down upon heads, skin hisses as garments of fire bind the flesh. They reach for air, smoke fills their lungs. They reach for water. Poison burns through their throats. A night without morning, a prison with no door, a silence that will never break. This is the first night in Jahannam, and what the Qur'an reveals will strike terror deeper than anything imagined. The world was warned long before this night began. Verses descended, words sharper than blades, carrying through centuries, describing the fire, its roar, its fury, its endless punishment. When it sees you from afar, you hear its growl before you glimpse its light. You feel its rage before it touches you. And then, the garments are brought forth, not of silk, not of comfort, but of fire. They wrap tighter and tighter. Skin and cloth fuse. Flesh burns but does not end. Boiling water pours down, melting. Everything it meets, carving rivers of agony through your body until it reaches your core. Chains pull you down. Hooks tear into your limbs. You resist, but there is no resistance. No escape, no breath, no mercy. Smoke engulfs you, thick, black, suffocating. It blinds, it chokes. You gasp, but the air itself turns to poison. Open your eyes. All you see is flame. Close them. The darkness offers no refuge. These are not visions of fantasy, not metaphors. They are what was revealed, warnings written before the first soul entered this place. And if this is what was shown before the gates opened, what will happen on the first night inside? The command comes. The angel sees you, not gently, not kindly. Chains bite into your flesh. Shackles close around your wrists. You are dragged downward step by step, each step heavier than the last. Even the earth recoils beneath you. The doors open, not for comfort, but for judgment. The heat surges before you even arrive, scorching skin, burning lungs. You take a breath, it cuts like knives. You take another, and wish you hadn't. Then you hear it, the roar, a sound that tears the soul before it reaches the ear. Pure rage, pure hunger. A fire that waits only for you. The angels do not stop, they cast you forward. You fall, not for seconds, not for minutes, a descent that feels eternal, deeper and deeper, until even hope burns away. At the gates, stand the guardians, eyes like lightning, faces without mercy. 70,000 chains in their hands, each chain held by 70,000 more angels. No escape, no plea, only judgment. The gates slam shut, darkness thicker than night, heat fiercer than suns. And in that moment, realization dawns. This is not a dream. This is not a tale. This is your first night in Jahannam. The gates close again. The roar behind them fades only to rise ahead. Chains tighten, dragging you downward once more. The fire grows hotter, brighter, more alive with every step. Smoke coils around your neck, another chain tightening, and then you see him, Malik, the keeper of Jahannam, his face unchanging, his eyes unblinking. He has guarded this fire since the day it was lit, and through all eternity he has never smiled, not once. The Qur'an says, "They will cry out, 'O Malik, let your Lord end us.' And he will reply, in a voice colder than stone, 'Indeed, you will remain. The angels drag you forward. You do not speak, you cannot.' Malik raises a hand. The chains respond. You are pulled down to the base of the tree. The tree of Zaqqum at first glance. It seems like any other tree. Branches, leaves, fruit. For a fleeting moment, hope stirs. Then the stench reaches you. Bitter, rancid, poisonous. This is Zaqqum. The Qur'an calls it the tree of accursed fruit. Its fruit rises from the fire itself, its shapes like the heads of devils. A piece is thrust into your hand. You recoil, but hunger leaves no mercy. You take it, the skin splits, its juice sears even before it touches your tongue. You chew once, it tears your throat. You chew again, it fills your stomach like molten lead. You try to spit it out. You try to vomit. The angels strike you down. Every bite must be swallowed. Your belly swells, twisting as if serpents coil within it. Fire rises from your gut to your chest. You scream, no one answers. All around, others suffer the same. Faces blackened, lips cracked, eyes hollow, bent over the same cursed tree, choking on its fruit. Some claw for more, not from desire, but because hunger refuses to die. This is the first meal of Jahannam, not food, not relief, only agony that deepens with every bite. And when the fruit of Zaqqum settles in your belly, the chains tighten again. They drag again. You are not finished, only being taken deeper. The fruit burns within you, twisting, clawing upward as if desperate to escape. You think there can be no worse, but the chains pull again. A basin is brought before you, black, heavy, steaming. The vapor alone scorches your throat. This is hamim, boiling water. The Qur'an says, they will be given to drink a scalding fluid that shreds their insides. A cup is forced into your hands. You hesitate. The angels do not. They strike. The cup slams against your lips. You drink. One swallow. Your face melts. Lips, tongue, eyes, gone. Skin slides from flesh like wax before flame. The liquid tears through you, down your throat, through your chest, into a stomach already poisoned by Zaqqum. It does not quench, it devours. Wherever it flows, flesh splits and falls away. The Qur'an says, it will tear apart their bowels and intestines. You clutch your stomach, chains biting your wrists. You bend, nothing helps. The liquid does not stay inside. It gushes out. From the mouth, the nose, the wounds it made. It hisses as it hits the ground. But even the ground burns. All around, others writhe the same way. Their screams merge, shaking the air itself. Then they collapse, twitching. Bodies half melted, voices gone. But death never comes. You beg for water, and this is the water. You beg for escape, and this is the escape. The angels raise the cup again. The first drink is never the last. The cup slips from your hand, vanishing into the smoke. You cannot tell if it shattered or if the ground itself swallowed it whole. You try to steady yourself. The chains remind you they are still there. They tighten. They pull. Dragged again. Not across level ground, but downward. Always downward. The slope steepens. Stones cut deeper. Every step tears more flesh. You stumble. The angels do not slow. Their grip is iron, their pace unbroken. Then you see them, the hooks. Hanging from above, countless and vast. Some the size of spears, some like trees. Barbed, gleaming even through the smoke. The Qur'an warns, chains and shackles and a blazing fire. These are the shackles. These are the hooks. One swings low. It finds flesh. It tears into your shoulder. Another rips across your back. They do not miss. They never miss. Your body jerks, a scream ripped from a throat already shredded by boiling water. You are lifted, not upward toward light, but upward into more flame. The hook swings. Each motion widens the wounds. Flesh peels. Blood burns before it falls. And beside you, others hang the same way. Some by their arms. The endless descent. Some hang by their tongues. Some by their faces. Their eyes bulge. Mouths frozen open in eternal agony. They dangle in rows like meat in a slaughterhouse. But here, there is no butcher. Only fire. Below, the chains tighten again. The hooks release. You fall. The ground greets you like stone sharpened into knives. Before you can rise, the angel sees the chains once more. You are dragged, still downward. And then, realization dawns. This is not a circle, not a cycle. It is a descent, each step heavier than the one before. And beneath every scream, one truth grows louder. The first night has no end. The descent slows, not because the chains loosen, but because the darkness thickens. Here, the fire does not light the way. It blinds. Its glow is smoke, and its smoke is night. You reach for shape. Nothing. You listen for sound. Everything. Screams above, screams below, screams beside you, voices so near they should touch you, but no touch comes. This is the loneliness of hell, surrounded yet abandoned. The Qur'an says, "They will cry out, 'Our Lord, remove us. We will do righteousness, unlike what we used to do.' But no answer comes. No door opens. The angels remain silent. Malik does not move. You remember the days before this night, when the Qur'an was recited to you? But you scrolled past. When the call to prayer rose, but you delayed. When the warnings were spoken and you thought, they're only words. Now those words are walls. They close in. They choke you. You try to measure time, seconds, minutes, hours. But here, time does not flow. The prophet said, "A day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of what you count." And here, 1,000 years feels like one night, a night that never ends. Regret gnaws deeper than the chains. It burns sharper than the hooks. It weighs heavier than the fire. All around others plead, "Our Lord, let us return. We will believe. We will obey." Their cries melt into the smoke. You open your mouth to join them, but the angels pull again. The first night moves deeper. The darkness thickens. The terror does not rest. It does not repeat. It returns. Not a circle that closes, but a wheel that turns without end. Hunger rises again, not hunger for food, but hunger that feels like knives twisting in the gut. The chains respond, not with comfort, but with command. They drag you back to the tree. Zaqqum waits, its fruit glistening like curses. You resist, the angels do not. The first bite reopens old wounds. The second sets your belly on fire. The third teaches a truth. There is no fourth. Here, numbers mean nothing. You reach for water. They bring hamim. The cup touches your lips. Your lips try to flee. Your face tries to flee. Your soul tries to flee. The liquid enters anyway. It tears the throat. It carves the chest. It pours into what the fruit has already poisoned and makes poison final. You fall forward, praying to vomit. It does not come. It cannot come. The angels strike. Every drop must go down. Then the heat rises again. Your skin turns to your second garment. It burns until there is no skin left. Only black, only ash. A surface that cracks with every breath, and then it returns. Not the pain, but the skin. For every time it burns away, it is replaced. New skin, new nerves, new openings for fire, new doors for pain. You learn a law that cannot be unlearned. Renewal here is not mercy. It is preparation. You reach for shade. There is shade, but it gives no coolness. You reach for wind, which scorches. You reach for night. It never ends. The hooks descend again, not because you are the same, but because you are ready again. Flesh renewed means flesh to be torn. You rise into the smoke, swing, scrape, fall. Metal sings, fire answers. Your voice breaks and keeps breaking. All around. The same rhythm beats its decree. Eat, drink, burn. The wheel of Jahannam hang, fall, drag, eat, drink, burn, hang, fall, drag again. Voices rise, desperate, pleading. If we return, if we are forgiven, if there is one more chance, but the words dissolve in the heat. Replies do not come. Or when they do, they come in a single sentence heavier than the mountain of your fear. Indeed, you will remain. You try to measure time. You borrow a habit from the world you lost. Minutes, hours, days. But the wheel crushes numbers beneath it, replacing them with a different measure. cycle after cycle after cycle. You think of faces, some you loved, some you despised. But here, every face is a mirror that refuses to look back. Everyone is near, yet no one is with you. This is the loneliest crowd in all creation. The tree calls, the cup rises, the hooks descend, the skin returns. You finally understand what the first night means. Not the first and last, but the first of always. And beneath the roar, the iron and the smoke, a memory stirs, faint but relentless. Verses once recited, warnings once spoken, doors that stood open for a lifetime. Why were they shown? Why were they spoken so clearly, so early, so often? The answer waits, beyond the next turn of the wheel. And the wheel never stops. But in its turning, a truth emerges. This fire is not random. It was not lit without reason. Every flame answers something left behind in the world. The Qur'an says, "Indeed, Jahannam is lying in wait, a home for the transgressors. They will remain in it for ages." Every scream here is the echo of a refusal. Every chain here is the weight of arrogance. Every fruit of Zaqqum is the harvest of sins planted long ago. You remember verses you once ignored, warnings that said, "Fear the fire, whose fuel is men and stones." Prepared for the disbelievers. Back then it was just sound. Now it is substance. Now it is reality. The chains have not loosened, but your mind runs. It races back to what was lost. The prayers missed, the wealth hoarded, the lies told when truth was costly, the eyes that looked away from the needy, the ears that turned from Qur'an to noise. Here, every punishment fits the crime. A measure returned, heavier than before. Those who fed their pride now eat Zaqqum. Those who quenched their desires now drink poison. Those who clothed themselves in arrogance now wear garments of flame. And the Qur'an says, "Taste, indeed you are the mighty, the noble." The words once spoken in mockery now thrown back in justice. You begin to see, this night is not chaos. It is justice, terrifying, perfect, unbroken justice. And still, the wheel turns. Fire, food, drink, chains. Each scream swallowed by the smoke. You remember that these words were once mercy, warnings sent with compassion, not wrath. Gifts, not threats, but gifts left unopened become judgments. This is the Qur'an unveiled. What was once mercy in sound is now judgment in substance. Jahannam is not only fire, not only chains, it is loneliness, a silence deeper than any on earth. The souls are many, yet each stands alone, surrounded, yet unseen. A crowd without company, the arrogant crawl on their faces through dust. The liars tear at their tongues. The slanderers claw their skin. The devourers of interest drown in rivers of flame, each one consumed by the reflection of their own sin. No conversation, no comfort, only regret echoing endlessly inside, never answered. This is the true horror of Jahannam, not just the pain, but the isolation, to be trapped forever, and to know that even in a sea of souls you are utterly, eternally alone. The Qur'an says, "They will wish to leave the fire, but they will never leave it. Theirs will be a lasting punishment." And this is the final reality of Jahannam. Not just the fire, not just the chains, but the silence after every scream, and the eternity that follows it. The final reality, not just the punishments that mirror every sin, but the certainty that they never end. The people of Jahannam cry for death, but death never comes. They beg for relief, but relief is withheld. They plead for a single drop of water, but the only drink is boiling liquid that tears their insides apart. Their voices echo into the darkness, but no answer returns. And the greatest terror of all is not the flames, not the torment, not the angels who strike without mercy. The greatest terror is knowing that this is forever, that every scream, every flame, every moment of isolation is not a passing night, but an eternal decree. Generations pass in silence above, but time does not move below. 1,000 years feel like a day. A day feels like 1,000 years. Despair does not fade. It sharpens. It deepens. until it becomes the only companion left. This is Jahannam, not only a place of fire, but a place where hope itself has been burned away, a place where silence is louder than screams, where eternity is the heaviest chain of all. The Qur'an revealed it so that the living would hear and tremble, so that hearts would soften and souls would flee before the gates ever close upon them. For Jahannam is not a story told in warnings alone. It is a reality, waiting for those who forget. Not everyone who hears this will believe, but everyone who ignores it will one day remember, and if this reminder reached your heart, do not let it fade. Carry it forward, share it. Keep the words of truth alive so that others may awaken before it's too late. Every voice matters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.